Alright, hello camera. Welcome back to the only anime reaction channel on YouTube. I know, it's absolutely crazy that in the years that anime has gotten really popular, in the years that YouTube has been around, that nobody else besides me has come up to do an anime reaction channel. And yes, I am stealing this joke from Drew Gooden, but I mean, what did you expect? But as much as it is an honor to be able to be the very first anime reaction channel on YouTube, and currently the only one, it is a bit of a burden. I've been surprisingly pretty occupied doing schoolwork, a lot more so than usual. Although it could also be a case of me being incredibly lazy and using that as an excuse. But at any rate, it's been a while. But for today, we're going to be doing a reaction to Gintama episodes 11 and 12, which are apparently, at the time when they were coming out, where they were aired at the same time as a 1 hour long special. Speaking of which, because of comments, I haven't gotten episode 12, but I've downloaded episode 11 from where I originally got it before I got the Shinsen/Rumble subs. It was recommended to me. I don't want to read the whole comment out, so I don't take too much time. However, I will read a little bit of the comments. And so we're going to be going back to Judas. I've only downloaded episode 11 of that. Whatever happens, once we get to episode 21, I'm going to try Rumble subs to see if those are supposedly any better. Either way, having the comments explain some stuff has been really useful. But at the very least with Judas, it'll be higher quality than 480p. The first comment that I'd like to talk about is from Chedi Farah. I apologize if not pronouncing that right, but they mentioned that the first movie, the first Gintama movie, is just like a remake of episodes 58 to 61 of the original series, and so therefore I could skip it. But from what I've read online, before I started watching Gintama, I looked up what the watch order is, what people recommend, and there was a Reddit page that basically listed it as it is indeed a remake of that arc, but it has better animation. But not to watch that over the, it said not to watch the movie over the anime portion of it, because there are some spoilers for later on the series, so I will skip it for now. I'll watch the regular anime version of it, but I'll probably check it out anyway, whether it be on my own time or whatever. I think I'd probably check it out, I don't know when, but technically the first season of Gintama is the first 201 episodes, so probably after the first 100 or 201 episodes. The next comment, again, I'm not going to be reading the whole thing. The main point I want to mention, I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that name. I apologize. But Toshi, the character I was mentioning, I believe it was in episode 9, I was confused a bit. I thought that he somehow knew Gintoki before their meeting during the episode where we met Katsura, which is just not true. He only remembers him from that situation, so thank you for correcting me with that. And this comment also mentioned that the subs are a bit weird. This is one of the main ones that were pointing out things with translator's notes. Sergio Cabrezio Martinez. Again, probably butchering it. But they also mentioned that Hichikita Toshi has not met Gintoki before, and they also mentioned that some of the things, despite them not having like English as the first language, that some of these translations with these subtitles don't work as well and don't really explain it as much. The joke about them looking for silver-haired samurai is Ginpatsu no Samurai in Japanese, and so the joke about the samurai getting a haircut, it sounds similar to that, but it's Sanpatsu no Samurai. And so that was that was basically the joke, is basically it sounds so similar, but it's just slightly off, which is a pretty good joke. It's definitely still funny either way. I still enjoyed it, obviously, but definitely is definitely a good like factoid to know. So thank you for that. Yeah, Sergio is just basically saying that the translator notes don't really make the subs any better, but we'll see how Rumble does, because we're gonna go back to Judas for a while, I guess. A comment by Vix Pay, if they haven't already skipped and just to go watch the reaction. I've looked into various sites that other reaction channels use to upload the uncuts, but most of them are paid, like Mega or Streamable or like Vimeo. I don't know. Those are all things you have to pay for, which I can't justify myself to do that because, again, not getting paid. But I'm trying another free one. I used Breach TV as the initial trial for the uncuts, but I've also included BitChute as another alternative. I don't know how if that'll be any better. I apologize if it's not. I'll have to look into what I can do with that. Maybe I'll try to like make sure these reactions work as timer based, just so people who are having trouble with buffering on BitChute or Breach TV can sync up their own copies. I don't know how that would go, but. And then finally, the last comment was by Adi Shady. Again, Adya Shady. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but they were mentioning that Shinsen, because they were the one that mentioned to me to use Rumble subs, but Shinsen is a bit off, which, yes, I do realize that. I apologize for that. Apparently Rumble didn't do the first 20 episodes. And they also explained that the reporter named Ketsuno Anna is basically a play on words. Anna in there is for announcer, so it's Ketsuno. But Ketsuno Anna literally means asshole, and not like someone's being an asshole, literally the hole in your ass, which is pretty funny. But with that all being said, we should probably get into the actual episode, because I don't actually know how much time I have for this. I may or may not get interrupted in the middle of this recording of episode 11. Okay, so as I was saying, I really like the self-contained story that this episode specifically had, because I don't even know how to describe it. I'm terrible at like analyzing media, so I apologize. Even though I've taken a film class where one of the assignments was to analyze a film, but I'm just terrible at coming up with my own ideas, and I'll let you infer what you will about that class or any of my classes for yourself. But it's just it set you up with something, and it ended in a completely different from what you were expecting it to the way you were expecting it to go. Like I obviously predicted some things that would happen, but I don't know. It's probably because it's so simple, yet that makes it kind of like effective. You know, we see this old man who's confident, but there is one thing he never got. And the one thing he regrets, the true love he had for someone, despite all of the women he's had in the past. Then we learn like some of the faults he has in him. He's broke. He was completely shy when they were younger, so that's why he could never talk to her. And then eventually, like finding that person, helping him see the one person he wanted to see most before he died, and having him go out without any regrets, I guess, or with a smile on his face as well, surrounded by people, not even necessarily people he was close with, but he was surrounded by, you know, the people at the Gintoki's Odd Jobs or Yoru Yuza, I forget what the word is exactly, alongside with the woman he, you know, always had a crush on. So, in the end, despite, like, him putting up, like, that confident, like, front, and secretly being, like, a kind of, like a pathetic pervert of a man, he still had people that were there for him when he died, and, you know, died with a smile on his face. Unless he comes back in a later episode and isn't dead, and I'm just, like, talking this episode so much, only for it to, like, to be undermined, I guess, in a later episode. But either way, this is a really good episode, and I also really enjoyed the part of the episode where Gintoki just completely decided that I'll help him out anyway. He's completely broke. He was mad at first, but when he's talked with the old man some more, basically out of the good of his heart, because he wanted to, because it's something, like, I assume that's going to be like a theme in Gintoki's character, is that he wants to be able to do what he wants and what he feels is right, not what other people are telling him, and what other people are telling him is right. So that was definitely a bit of an interesting... We're starting to get, over time, slowly getting a look into more of who Gintoki is as a person, and that's really enjoyable. I went back, and about what Kagero was saying about Hamada, I assume that's some kind of like reference to like some of the books or shows she's been watching. She's just referencing something that happened in a show about a guy named Hamada, who's autumn, second year in high school, crater face, something like that, which is pretty funny. For a second before I've gone back to seeing it, but in the flashback before he, I guess, died, I don't think they said it explicitly, but I'm pretty sure the old man's dead. Ayano or Otose was saying thank you for returning it. For a second, I didn't fully read that, and I thought that we were getting a flashback and that the thing was actually a gift from him. I was just mistaken. Apparently, it is just her thanking him, which is sweet. It definitely did make it a bit more sad that he's gone now. I don't even like him that much, but it's just like a sad story. I don't know. What did you all think of the story? Am I the only one? Is that an unpopular opinion that this was a good episode? This episode was kind of a mixed bag. I wasn't really sure what it was. I was kind of confused as to what exactly the episode was going to be. Maybe that's why I found it kind of hard to talk about it while the episode was playing, if you remember what I mentioned while actually during the episode. But this episode was kind of, I'd say the highlight was definitely more definition of Gintoki and Otose's relationship, more explaining of how they met and showing off more of their relationship. But that wasn't a vast majority of this episode. The most of this episode was I don't even know how to describe it, because it does give more of a look into the relationship of Gintoki and Otose, and I guess technically the main plot is this Catherine girl, but there wasn't really development on focus on her as a person. So I kind of find it hard to say that it was about her when she had so little development, but had seemingly, at least in my opinion, the most screen time for this episode, as opposed to the best parts of the episode, that being Gintoki and Otose. I'm not really sure. I mean, I really enjoyed that part, but as an overall, this episode was kind of weird. I don't want to say it was bad. I want to say it's definitely not very high up there in my all-time favorite episodes of Gintama. And before you ask, I don't know what my list looks like in terms of my favorite episodes of all time. I don't think I've had an episode of Gintoki that was head and shoulder above anything else, but I'm sure that time will come. I mean, it's been mentioned that at least over in the West, this isn't a very mainstream series, but it is still very highly rated on by a lot of people and gets a lot of praise. So who knows? I'll find out exactly what the deal is later on, because I am really enjoying this. So don't worry about that, anybody in the comments. I'm not enjoying this. I'm enjoying this a lot, but I definitely wouldn't, as of right now, say it's one of my favorites. And I know it's because I've only watched 12 episodes, or rather 10 episodes, because I didn't watch the first two. But rest assured, even if I don't become a full-time anime reactor with a Patreon page and everything, I at least want to be able to completely react to Gintama on YouTube. Even if I never do anything after that, I do want to do that. You should have my word on that. We'll see for sure later on. But can you hear my voice is kind of going? My throat's starting to hurt. This is the manga collection video all over again. But if you enjoyed this Gintama reaction, make sure to press the like button and subscribe for more Gintama reactions. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new Gintama reaction or anything else I react to in the future, which, again, it's going to be a while before Gintama's over. But even if you don't watch the Haikyuu reactions, feel free to leave any recommendations for when I eventually catch up to Haikyuu, and I have to wait for whenever Season 5 comes out, even if that's even going to happen, because it's not been confirmed yet, as far as I know. But, see you later, camera.